Hi everybody, it's Mike the Healer Gut Guy, and today I want to share with you a comment on one of our YouTube videos. I won't share what their name is, but I see this perspective a lot, and it is not correct. I'm not trying to be hard on this person. I used to think this way, and we need to change the way that we think about our gut condition if you want to heal. If you do not have this perspective, you are not going to heal. I've seen it way too many times. I see people do all the crazy diets, all the crazy supplements, you name it, they don't get any better. And then they use German New Medicine and they literally put on 20 pounds in a month eating whatever they want. Whatever they want. I've seen it time and time and time again. And it's because once you understand the true root cause of gut conditions, you can just turn off, get rid of the root cause, and you'll get better. It is literally that simple. So I'm going to read this comment. When I see someone eating normal food, and they use the S word, or whatever that I think is not ideal for human consumption, I usually fascinate about how they manage. And I don't think they are just idiots. They are just unaware and uneducated. So I used to feel this way too. I used to actually get really emotional. Like if I walked by a McDonald's, I'd be like, I can't believe the government would allow these types of organizations to like that. That was like the conversation I would have in my head, and I would judge everybody inside of them. Your tracks are going to be something you get emotional about. If you get emotional about, a food topic, then it's probably a track. And here's proof that food does not cause gut conditions. There are too many people on the planet that eat junk food and they don't have gut conditions. They don't have gut conditions, and they eat it all the time. They eat it to the day they die, and they never have gut conditions. And then the people in the holistic community, they can go off these foods for years and years and years, and they still can't eat them. In the discussion, food doesn't fix it. It's that simple. It's Logic 101. You got to stop listening to the holistic mindset, because they're not even true to their own words. Holistic, the whole body. And if your brain controls the whole body, you'd think the brain would be like the first place you would look for the root cause. Okay? So I'm going to read the rest of this. We got to realize that modern lifestyle, stress, food, and environment has led to so much disease. I have a problem with this sentence because there's actually no such thing as disease. It is confused for these significant biological special programs that are designed to respond to a conflict shock, a stressful situation that catches us off guard. And it tries to help us survive by running a special program on a particular organ. All of our organs have a very specific survival purpose. And then we experience symptoms in the conflict active phase. But for most of our digestive issues, we experience the majority of the symptoms in the healing phase. And we can get stuck in that healing phase if we don't properly come to peace with the original conflict shock. And we can also kind of snowball it into, it can expand with extended tracks and food tracks and almost have it be impossible to turn off. The holistic mindset is very detrimental to people with gut issues, because you start to blame all these foods. So here it says foods are just a small part, and then in the next sentence we're contradicting ourselves, saying, but they also have a really big impact on as well. And every aspect we migrate into our daily routine is a win, in my opinion. That is completely not true. If these conditions start in the brain, and I see people do this, I see the holistic community do this all day long. They wear these silly pendants. They wear these ridiculous clothes that block EMFs. They turn off their Wi-Fi at night. They meditate. They do all these things in vain, yet their friends and their family, they eat whatever they want and they have perfectly formed stools. It is a particular type of unresolved stress that is causing digestive issues. That's what it is. It's not anything else. Everybody who has digestive issues, they're going to have a Hammer focus on their CT scans in the brainstem. It's just that crystal clear. There's nothing to discuss, guys. You have to throw out these theories that have been tested for years now, and people just aren't getting better with them. They're getting more and more detail-oriented and nitpicky with what they do, and yet their symptoms really never go away. And they can't enjoy life like a normal person. They can't enjoy normal foods. So I'm going to read the rest of this. We should celebrate the fact that we understand nutrition to some degree. Again, I don't know how the human race has overcomplicated nutrition so much. And again, we go here on to quote Weston A. Price, and I could tell, I'm sorry, you haven't read Weston A. Price's book, because here in the next sentence, he says, and we need to get most of our strength from consuming animal foods and clean carbs like fruit and honey. Weston A. Price saw every single population eating starches. The people in the Swiss Alps, they had a 0% cavity rate, and they were eating rye bread, and they're probably eating potatoes and other stuff like that too. The people in the Scottish Isles, they were eating oatmeal every single day. They had a 0% cavity rate. Carbs, 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 carbs. They ate it with every single meal. We go to Africa. People love to misquote this, the Maasai. It says, yes, they ate a lot of blood and raw dairy and liver, but you read a couple lines more and it says they ate vegetables. And in that day, starches were referred to as vegetables. And you also hear, in many other places, he went to go see hunter-gatherer tribes. They ate tubers and stuff like that. They traded for grain. They ate starches. The only population that didn't eat starches was the Eskimos, and I bet they ate starches in some capacity that we just didn't see. And the Eskimo, you can't follow the Eskimo diet, unless it's just too difficult. You can't do it unless I don't know how to do it. So this is another big fat myth. We have to get rid of this is insanity. You have to get rid of these food phobias. It is insane to think like this. And I used to think like this too, but I see this perspective over this ridiculous holistic perspective over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, of course, it's important to eat, organ meats and stuff like that, and get those nutrients into you. But why are the people who eat organ meats and who have this crazy holistic lifestyle, why are they less healthy than the average person who can literally eat whatever they want? It is because these conditions start in the brain. You have to get your logic right, or you will not get better. Unless this person changes their perspective, they are not going to get better, because it's just that simple. This perspective does not get better. They can get to a certain level where they'll make this safe food list for them, but they won't be able to go on vacation, because you're not going to be able to find these foods on vacation, and you're not going to be able to go out on a date and just have ice cream with your date, or have gelato with your date, or have a coffee date, or have a beer, or have wine, because in your head you have this crazy person on your shoulder telling you everything isn't safe. I'm giving you guys permission to relax. You can enjoy food again. Simply understand the German New Medicine perspective, and you will understand that, what is going on behind the scenes. You experienced something as you experience a conflict shock, an indigestible morsel. This is hard to digest. I can't digest this. I can't accept this. And your brain is going to it's going to tell the intestines you need help digesting something. All right, looks like you need extra gut cells. You'll see these as polyps on your colonoscopy. These extra cells are here to help us digest and absorb this hard to digest thing in our life. It's controlled by the brainstem, the oldest part of the brain. It does not know the difference between real pieces of food in our stomach or in our gut and imaginary things in our head and things in our life. It does not know the difference. And when this thing gets resolved, that's when you're going to get the majority of your symptoms, because that's when we're getting rid of these extra gut cells. There's going to be blood, there's going to be pus, there's going to be pain, And it gets stuck in the healing phase when we start to blame foods. We start to perceive foods as indigestible. And whatever the conflict shock might have been, there's going to be things that remind you of that. And it's a defense mechanism, a survival mechanism from your body. Oh, we had this conflict shock in the past before. We should really be aware of this. This is what causes disease. And there's no such thing as disease. It turns on and off these special programs. This is the process you need to become aware about. All this food madness does not matter. It does not matter. I took down over 100, 200 hours of my old videos because I believe this so thoroughly. It is fundamentally wrong. Food does not cause gut conditions unless you're eating glass. And it doesn't turn on a special program. Eating glass does not turn on a special program. Unless a friend puts it in your food and you experience it as a conflict shock. I can't believe my friend would do that to me. Otherwise, there's a difference between injury and there's a difference between a special program running. There's a very big difference. They share some similarities in the symptoms, but like injury happens and then it heals. A special program can get stuck in the healing phase forever if you do not change this crazy, insane, holistic mindset where you fear the own ground you walk on, yet while everyone else is doing the exact opposite and they're completely fine. You have to use correct, unbiased logic. Yes, it's important to get healthy foods into you, but these foods don't heal you. Your cells heal you. What controls your cells? This little thing between your ears. It controls all the cells in your body. And think about this. What's going wrong? Your cells aren't behaving the way that we want. They're behaving in this Crohn's manner, this IBS, this colitis manner. What is telling them to do that? Not food. Food, it's already dead. All the food that you eat is dead for the most part. It's cooked. It doesn't have the intelligence to tell your cells what to do. What has the intelligence to tell your cells what to do? This thing right here, this thing between your ears, that has the intelligence to tell your cells what to do. Not food. Food gives your body the nutrients to carry out what your brain does. Your brain, your thoughts, your perception, your psyche is the most important part of healing your gut condition. Now, I'm sorry I went on a rant, but I see this perspective so many times, and I want you guys to get better. I really do care about you guys, and I do want you to get better, but you have to stop being a psycho, crazy, insane person about foods. I used to be the biggest one out there, and I apologize for that, and I took down all my old videos. But you have to start viewing all food as safe. I would much rather someone eat candy all day and view all food as safe than be a psycho-holistic person that views all food as safe. Because the truth of the matter is today, organic food's not even clean. They still spray that stuff, and they just charge you extra for it, for putting an organic sticker on it and all that nonsense. So again, eat as clean as possible, but do not demonize junk foods. And if you're going to quote Weston A. Price, actually read the book. I'm sorry, there's too many people that quote that book and they just cherry pick what the carnivores in the keto community says, and it drives me nuts. But anyways, whoever made this comment, thank you for making this comment. I grew up in a military family, so a little bit of rough love. I truly want you to get better, and you cannot get better with the mindset of this comment. It's not possible. It's not possible. You're not going to get better. So good luck to you. I hope this message spoke to you, and I like to deal with my emotional issues in a Christian mindset. If you have the most powerful being in the universe, behind you, and you are, and Christ is your role model, you're trying to be a peacemaker, you just experience the world in a way where you're less prone to have conflict shocks and to keep them on. So, all right, guys, good luck, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.